All set, Tom.
Thank you, Stone. Before I open the hearing for the Barnstable Conservation Commission, I would like to ask George to do a roll call for the quorum purpose.
Abadili.
Present.
Foster is absent tonight. Gilmore present. Byrne is absent tonight. Lee.
Present.
Sampu is not here at the moment. Tangney.
Present.
We excuse me, hold on. Administrator Darcy Carley
Present.
is back with us. Welcome back, Darcy.
Thank
And
you.
staff member Kim Kavanaugh.
Present.
We do have a quorum, Mr. Chairman, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Acting under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and or Chapter 237 of the Code of Town of Barnstable, the Barnstable Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 11th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. for the applications of John Galadis, Vinyl Clubs, Town of Barnstable, DBW. The hearing is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government's Access Channel. The plans and application are on file and may be reviewed by scheduling appointments by sending email requests to Darcy Curley at 230 South Street, Hyannis. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with the Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20, please let the chair know if anyone is recording this meeting. Hearing none. This evening's hearing agenda is posted on the town's website. On the agenda, next to each application is the amount owed to the Town of Barnstable for the cost of advertisement. Please send your checks to the Conservation Division at 230 South Street before the hearing. Remote participations. The Conservation Commission's public hearing will be held by remote participation as a result of an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency signed by the governor on March 29, 2023, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Remote public access to the hearings shall be provided in the following manner. 1, the hearings will be televised via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. 2, the real-time public comment can be addressed to the Conservation Commission utilizing the Zoom link 833-4500-2488 or use the toll-free phone number 888-475-4499 as shown on the agenda. 3rd, the public can also email their comments to darcy.curley@town.barnstable.ma.us at least 8 hours prior to the hearing. Tonight, we have one RDA, John Galadis, construct a one-story sunroom 10 by 8 additions onto an existing deck at 558 Lumber Mill Road, Centerville, as shown on the Assessors Map 146 parcel 024. John, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Do you just take questions, or Darcy, can you share this drawing, sketch? John, do you want to describe what you want to do, or you just want to take questions from the commission?
Sure, I'm happy to describe the project. So we have a small deck that's off the master bedroom on the first floor there, which we really don't utilize currently because we have a large deck on the other side. And we wanted to make it useful, and so decided this sunroom would be a nice extension of the bedroom. It's a small structure. It's coming from the folks at Patio Enclosures who did a previous structure on the other deck at the far right side and did a really nice job on it. So it doesn't impede anybody's view. We are certainly not getting any closer to the water or anything like that. And I think it'll be a nice improvement for the property.
Thank you, John. Question from the commissioner.
Yes, please. Whoops.
John?
Sir, I was out visiting the house today. Just wanted to confirm. Right now, I believe that the deck is on 4x4, I guess, or whatever, on the ground. You're just going to use that existing deck. And the room's going to be built on that deck. So there's nothing new touching the ground after this project. Is my understanding correct?
No, actually, they are going to add some support pilings underneath to augment the existing supports underneath. I think a couple of them because of the weight of the windows on the sunroom. So
You're talking additional 4x4, whatever they are. I say 4x4, maybe they should.
Yeah, I mean they're relatively minimal impact. They're the same sort of pilings they put in on the other deck underneath the structure, so they don't extrude beyond the patio, and they're pretty minimal, but they support the weight.
They don't build on the property. They bring the structure.
Right. Well, it's a prefabricated structure that they assemble at the
So
job
nothing
site.
is built on the property.
Okay. All right. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
So we just stay within the existing footprint of the deck, the existing.
Mhm.
Any other question from the commissioner? Seeing none. Channel 18, any public comment on this?
I'm joining right now, and my wife is Jean Lee, and so would you be able to invite her as well?
Who's talking?
Raymond Martin. Oh, he just muted.
Channel 18, any public comment on this one?
I think he's trying to bring in people into the room. There's a lot of people signing in, so.
Mr. Chairman, while I have the opportunity, I just want to acknowledge that Commissioner Sampu has joined us at 6:36.
Okay.
I think I signed into the wrong meeting, so a little bit late coming on.
Last week's meeting, Pete?
But you're here.
He's got a PhD. It doesn't mean he's smart, George. That's all.
Yeah, but neither does an attorney's degree.
All right, Sam.
Yikes.
Gotcha.
There's nothing to see, right?
John, I need to wait until the channel 18 to tell me whether there's any public comment. I need that confirmation before I can make any motions. So,
No public comment, Tom.
Can you tell them?
okay, thank you.
That
Do
include.
I have a motion to approve this project as a negative determination?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Anyone second? Roll call.
Abadili.
Aye.
Gilmore, aye. Lee.
Aye.
Tangney.
Aye.
Sampu.
Abstain.
That motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Good luck, John.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
We
very much.
appreciate it and
Thank you.
appreciate your efforts as the Conservation Board too.
And I want to
Thank you for your service.
Kim Kavanaugh. Kim, you've been amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
Yes,
Kim, you
yes.
were so great to work with. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We have two NOIs tonight. The first one is Viano Club proposed wastewater treatment facility at the Viano Club property at 107 Seaview Avenue and 82nd Warner Street, Osterville, as shown on the Assessors Map 162, Parcel 001 and 024. John?
Good evening, John O'Day from Sullivan Engineering Consulting, representing the Wiano Club. Also in the meeting room, we have attorney Eliza Cox. We have Mark Krebs, who's the general manager for the Wiano Club. We have Katie Connery and Kevin Klein from Stantec, who produced the plans that we will be presenting this evening. We're before you with a notice of intent for a proposed wastewater treatment facilities for the Wiano Club properties located along Seaview Ave, Warren Street, and Washington Avenue in accordance with the Mass DEP Administrative Consent Order that was issued in August of 2020. This project is now about 5 years into discussions and studies and design and permitting. We think that we are hopefully very near the end. We did have an opportunity probably almost a year ago to have a preliminary meeting with the commission staff to make sure that we were bringing the application forward to you appropriately. I will bring up, share my screen with you all.
Yes, please.
And I'm going to just start with an aerial overview because I think that it's as simple as anything as I can present, sort of given the overall description of the properties. The properties that we are talking about are 107 Seaview Avenue, which also includes the buildings addressed as 61 and 71 Seaview Avenue. And we are talking about 82 Warren Avenue. The club itself encompasses the land in between Seaview and Washington as well, but the portions of the work that are within your jurisdiction are really limited to these two outer parcels. So our wetland resources that we have the coastal, so we have land under ocean, coastal beach, and coastal bank, and land subject to coastal flowage along Seaview Avenue. And then we also have on the interior Crystal Lake, land under water bodies, and a bordering vegetated wetland along portions of it. 107 is developed with kind of the main club building, and there is some accessory almost dwellings located on the property as these other two buildings. And 82 Warren Street houses the kids camp and the tennis facilities and things of that nature. I will quickly kind of, again, maybe even just sticking with this screenshot for a minute, and then I'll flip through the plans, give you sort of a general description of the work that we're talking about that's going to be located within your jurisdiction. So beginning at the building at 61 Seaview Avenue, we're talking about removing some existing septic tanks and some piping located landward of the building, 95 feet plus probably to the coastal bank. At 71, again, we're talking about decommissioning, removing septic tanks, and some new piping on the landward side of the dwelling, 85 feet plus or minus to the coastal bank. At 107, again, we are talking about working with the existing tanks and piping. Some of that does run along the back of the building near the top of the coastal bank. The plans are to use that existing piping, but it will be inspected as part of this. And if anything needs to be replaced, this would be the time to do it. All of this effluent will then utilize existing tanks with new pumps put in them to pump the effluent across the street and away from all those coastal resources. Again, at number on Warren Street, we are talking about decommissioning an existing tank that's within 100 feet of Crystal Lake and some new piping, bringing the effluent away from the resource. And again, it will be pumped down Washington Street to the new treatment facility located at the other corner of this property. Flip you through the plans, this sort of general description really quickly, and then I will pass it over to Kevin and give a little bit more information about the treatment facility itself. We did provide just the cover plan, given the overall lay of the land, the existing conditions overall, so that you can see all the buildings and areas and wetland resources that I was just walking you through on the aerial. An overall proposed, again, kind of to highlight that all of the leaching has been located entirely outside of any buffer zones towards either side in the high grounds. And then I can just scroll you through the plans. Again, behind the clubhouse, we're talking about, decommissioning this existing tank and running the piping through it. Talking about using some of the existing tanks that are located underneath the deck of the building and by the snack bar. At the 61 and 71, decommissioning those existing septic systems and piping through them and getting that effluent away again to a new pipe leading across the street. Down by the tennis buildings and junior activities, 100-foot buffer, again, just decommissioning existing tank and piping through it. And then this is sort of the blow up of the eastern end of that Warren Avenue property where the treatment processes will take place. As I mentioned, I'll let Kevin walk you through that in a little bit more detail, but just kind of summarizing, our overall position on this project. The club is certainly, working towards a long investment in these sites and the continued and future operations of the club, in replacing all of these individual Title V septic systems with this innovative treatment facility. Certainly be an improvement to any of the wetland resources around. So with that, Kevin, I'm happy to keep my screen shared if you'd like, and if you want to give a little bit more detail about the guts of this treatment facility, I'm sure the commission would love to hear.
Sure. Thank you, John. John, if you can get to the overall showing the leaching facility, and then we'll come back to this one. The Wiano Club obviously has been around for a while. They've relied on a series of septic systems, in essentially 3 very large ones and 6 or 7 small septic systems. They have an overall design flow of approximately 25,000 gallons per day. Because of that, we entered into an administrative consent order with the Mass DEP that gave the Wiano Club approximately 9 years to upgrade the facility to add a wastewater treatment plant. Wiano Club has actually accelerated the schedule and designed the wastewater treatment plant and are looking to start construction this fall, which is about 4 years ahead of schedule. What we are looking to do is collect wastewater from all of the existing buildings and convey it to a centralized location at the northeast corner of the site where we will build a wastewater treatment plant. After treating the effluent, it will then go out to subsurface disposal. The location for the disposal is selected, we're limited with the site, but it's also was selected because it's a location that does not flow towards 3 bays, does not flow towards East Bay. So it's not a nitrogen sensitive embayment. It doesn't impact it. It also, because we were able to locate it where we did, it doesn't flow towards Crystal Lake. So all of the treated effluent will enter the ground and ultimately flow towards Nantucket Sound, which is the least sensitive area out here. It's the existing large septic systems, leaching areas are in and around where we're building the new leaching system. So now we're taking untreated septic waste, treating it, and then discharging it back in, for the most part, in the same area. Although there are a couple of them, like the tennis facilities, that we are not going to be discharging near there, or the existing septic systems that are near near Nantucket Sound that we are actually removing. So all of the effluent will go into a centralized location that we provided primary and reserve area for. John, if you can go to the wastewater treatment plant plan. So all of the wastewater for the site will be collected and conveyed up to the wastewater treatment plant. It'll use a series of gravity and 2 pump chambers, 1 pump chamber for the tennis facility, 1 pump chamber for the clubhouse. The rest of it will come, oh, and actually a 3rd pump chamber for the dorms on the west side. The rest of it comes by gravity to the site. The treatment plant is it's a biologically active filtration system, better known as an amphidrome. It provides aerobic treatment, provides nitrification, denitrification, and then we have added a polishing filter to get even better denitrification out of this. We anticipate a standard groundwater discharge permit. We've applied to the Mass DEP. They've reviewed the hydrogeologic report. They reviewed the plans, and they have a draft groundwater discharge permit that will be coming out in the next week or so. We anticipate the effluent standards will be 30 milligrams per liter BOD, 30 milligrams per liter TSS, and less than 10 milligrams per liter total nitrogen. So the treatment system itself has been designed to meet those, and has actually been designed to do better than that. But those will be the effluent standards for this site. I can tell you more about the treatment plant if you got any questions, but essentially it's got a lot of redundancy, a lot of, we added extra size and extra redundancy to it and extra recycle so that this site can accommodate the flows, can accommodate surges, and can treat it, recycle, and get the best level of treatment we can get. The treatment system itself has been designed for 46,000 gallons per day. It was done, that's more than what we've got for our Title V design flow, but it's done for 2 reasons. One, it provides some excess capacity, provides some ability should the Wiano Club in the future want to do any expansions, but more importantly, it provides for the maximum day. When they've got an event out there and they're actually using restaurants and the tent and kids are out there during the day, flows can get high. So we've designed the system so it's got capacity, it's got a very large flow equalization tank, so we can bring in the flows and then treat them throughout the day and throughout the night. Any questions or anything more you'd like to hear on it?
No, I think that would be sufficient for now, Kevin. Thank you for that.
Just the one last thing I just want to say, most of the treatment is in concrete tanks that are underground.
Yep.
We do have a control building that will house the chemicals, which are micro C, which is really a sugar solution, and sodium bicarbonate. And they'll also house an odor control system. So we won't, that way we contain any, we can treat and not have odors, and we can contain any odors, noises from the blowers.
And the blower inside the building too. So
blower is inside the building, yes.
Yeah. So I have to confess, I'm an engineer. So I'm a wastewater engineer. So I know the Amphidrome system. So the system will work fine. Any question from the commissioner? No one? John? Our John?
Is it part of the consent decree or your plan to monitor the effluent coming out to see if those standards are being met or exceeded? Is there a standard protocol for that monitoring?
Yes, there is. The groundwater discharge permit will stipulate that we have a licensed operator on staff at the treatment plant 2 hours, at least 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. They'll do they'll do their own in-house testing, but then they will also on a monthly basis do influent and effluent testing, send it out to a lab. That'll be BOD, TSS, total nitrogen. Additionally, there are monitoring wells, up gradient and down gradient of the effluent disposal area, and those will be tested quarterly.
Thank you. Tom, would it make sense, you know more about this than I do, that annually or on some basis, those monitoring reports are sent to the commission staff? Do you think? Or is that over? You know,
I think that's overkill because every month they have to send in the report to the DEP, and DEP looking at those reports. if there's any variance that is exceeding that, they will call the operator
Okay.
that asking for why and that sort of thing. So for Emory Jones system, I feel comfortable with it. So
Sounds good to me, Tom. Thank you.
George.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Yeah, John, I had the same question, but I also wondered if you could comment on the proposed system as opposed to the Title V system as regard to nitrogen removal.
Sure. The conventional Title V septic system does very little for nitrogen removal. You get some in the leaching area if you get a little bit of a biomat, but does very little. So if your total nitrogen is coming in at 45 or 60 milligrams per liter, let's say it's coming in at 60, it's getting discharged at about 35. And they actually typically figure it's coming in at 45, it's getting discharged at 35. Here we're going to be less than 10. We've also designed it for a higher influent nitrogen concentration because it's a club. It's a club use, not a residential. So when we designed it, we assumed a stronger wastewater and a stronger nitrogen concentration coming in. And we should be achieving about an 85% removal, 85 to 90%.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. And I thank the whole team here for what I view as a really wonderful effort to help all our embayments here. And I think it's a tremendous project. Thank you.
This would be a much better system than all the number of Title V systems. Just like Kevin says, the effluent is much better, especially on the D night, because in this setting that the ammonia concentration coming out in the influent would be very high, and this system will be designing for treating that and reduce it down to less than 10. So this is a good system. So any question from the other commissioners? None? Any public comments? Channel 18?
Seeing none.
None? Could I have a motion to approve this project as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili,
A very emphatic aye. Well done, folks. Well done.
Gilmore, also aye. Lee,
Aye.
Tangney,
Aye.
Sampu.
Excellent eye.
That is an excellent unanimous.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The second NOI is the Town of Barnstable DBW. Construct sidewalks and share use path, raised crosswalks, drainage improvement, new/additional streetlights, new driveways to Calmus Beach, guardrails, water main extensions, repave part of the Ocean Street, install signs and pavement markings, and other associated work on the town of right-of-ways from 480 to 670 Ocean Street, and on town property at 480 and 670 Ocean Street, Hyannis, as shown on the Assessors Map 324, parcel 038 and 041. Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. My name is Paul Graves. I work for the Town of Barnstable Department of Public Works as a project manager, and I'm here to present this NOI. May I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Could someone there tell me, do I just click the share screen button?
Yes, that should work.
Okay. And then I'll choose the screen there. Okay. Hold. Oh, share. Okay. Are you able to see that?
It's coming up. Yes.
Okay. So this is an overview of the project. on a large scale. So the project runs north-south from Calmus Beach to JFK Memorial. And it includes several main elements, shared use path through the park, and also, it's a little harder to see, but also along the Calmus Beach property. Shoulder paths, which basically is just a paved shoulder because of the way that there are parking along both of the the condominiums and the residences across from the condominiums. There's just no opportunity to put a sidewalk through there, but we'll make appropriate shoulder passageways for pedestrians to use. And then again, that shared use path will continue on from south of the condominiums to Calmus Beach. The greenish aqua color here is meant to designate a water main extension. Currently, there's a fire hydrant just south of the condos and a little stub out. But and then there's a water main on Halls Ave. So this stretch will connect two dead ends right now and create a looped system, which will provide better flow and better water pressure, which is needed. For example, way out here at the end of Calmus Beach, oftentimes there's not a good pressure, and having it a looped system will also improve the water quality and reduce the amount of maintenance needed. And then there will be a couple of short segments of sidewalk along the west shoulder where we can. Again, most of it is head-in parking, so there's not that much opportunity there. And of course, at Calmus Beach, the third element besides the shared use path / sidewalks and water main is currently the entrance to Calmus Beach is down here, right at the corner with Halls Ave. But that is, it doesn't provide good sight distance for people turning, either turning into the beach parking lot or frankly, well, I guess that's it mainly. And so we really want to create this new driveway, and we will in turn block off the old driveway when the new driveway goes in. This driveway will also provide additional queue length for vehicles. Currently now, during peak times, vehicles queue on the street at times, and it'll be safer for them to queue offline. There are, of course, some resource areas along here. There's a coastal bank at the beach. There's a salt marsh across Ocean Street from our project. And then at the very north end of our project, at Snows Creek and the associated wetlands, there is another bit of salt marsh and coastal bank and vegetated wetlands. Our project will not directly impact any resource areas, but it is in this area at the south end, and at the very tip on the north end of the project, it will be within the 100-foot buffer of those resource areas. is there anything else you would like me to tell you about the project, or do you want to look at the more detailed plans, anything like that?
Do you want to show us a couple of detailed stuff on the plans?
Sure.
Just going through
Sure.
quickly.
Yes, I'll do my best to be quick.
I'm sure there's a lot of the public want to see it because
Sure.
I'm seeing almost quite a few, publics in this hearing.
Of course. So here's a plan view of the south half of the project. Let me expand that a little bit. So you can see again, here's the Calmus Beach parking lot. Here's the proposed new entrance drive. The existing entrance drive is here. We're proposing that, after the new drive goes in, this area will be closed off. There'll be some pavement removed here, and this will be a landscaped area. And this will be, vehicles will not be able to get through there. This has all been checked with the fire department, and they're in favor of this, as are the people who work in the recreation department. You can see the salt marsh indicators over here and the coastal bank. This isolated wetland right here is just south of the condominiums, and we're not in the 100-foot buffer of that in our project. As we continue north, you see where the condominiums are and the residences across the street. At some point, we're no longer in the 100-foot buffer here. And then let me flip to the next plan, which shows the north half of this. Oops. So continuing north, we approach Gosnold, and traverse through Veterans Park. The other wetland, resource area that I mentioned a minute ago is here, associated with Snows Creek. There is a coastal bank, vegetated wetland, and salt marsh, all in this area. Again, we're not directly impacting that, but we will be within the 100-foot buffer for a short distance of that. This depicts the proposed shared use path, which will meander through the park. We'll avoid trees where we can. And then that continues as far as it can, and then flipping back to the other screen. Yeah, we pick up here, and then really the only opportunity for pedestrians from there until we get to the other part of the shared use path is just walking on the shoulders. So those are all of this work that I'm describing and showing. It's all within the town road right of way or on town properties. And when we get down just past the condominiums, then we can pick up our proposed shared use path. And that will continue all the way to Calmus Beach, including right up to the entryway for pedestrians to get onto the sand. but we're not doing any work on the beach proper.
So thanks for a couple quick questions before I go to the other commissioner. On the write-up, you mentioned about a new gate. Can you show me where is your gate?
Yes. If we go, let me go to the more detailed plan, but it's just going to be shown essentially schematically. But it will be, let's see.
Oh, I see.
Well, it will be at this driveway.
No, and just close to the two arrows. I think the gate.
Yeah, the gate will be closed. Here's the call out for it down here. Proposed automated entrance gate.
Right.
I'm sorry, I was missing where that was, but the gate itself will be across this end of the driveway, and that will be at the appointed times that the town gates that off.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Question from the commissioner, George.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Yeah, Paul, if you could go to just to the left a little bit or to the south just slightly, where you're filling in that area in front of the existing entrance. And okay, so it's proposed for loam and seed with a small landscape area. I wonder, Darcy, do we want to have that planted in consultation with the staff?
They could value putting in some lower type of.
That's what I wondered too.
Yeah, I mean, we could mix in some goldenrod and things like that besides just the grasses.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I wondered.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point out. Yeah, I don't think we've called it out on here necessarily, but our intent was to have the contractor stabilize the disturbed area, and then our structures and grounds folks would do the landscaping probably, and we were planning to consult with yourselves and anyone else who's interested, but our thinking is it would probably make sense to use to essentially view it as an extension of the beach vegetation, right? Which is going to be right next to it. So we're open to whatever you want to propose, but I just wanted to let you know that putting it would be interesting. Lumen seed would be an interim measure until it gets planted more formally. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if they can just talk with me, we could either do it with some of what we have for suggestions for, like you said, the beach habitat, or we could see whether we could put some of the because the town manager signed off on the monarch butterfly garden type of thing. So whether any of that could be brought in and handle it.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
John?
Well, actually, I had the same question as George, and I'd add to that, excuse me, that I don't know how much disturbance of vegetation will occur throughout the entire project area, especially like with the walkway, et cetera. But I think we need a condition not only for that area that you were talking about, George, but also a condition that all disturbed vegetation will be replaced in kind, or with the prior approval of staff. I think, Paul, you said there may be some trees taken down. Did I hear you say that or not?
Yes. Okay. We've been in consultation with the town tree warden about that. Actually, some of the trees that will come down are crowded. He views that. I don't want to talk for him because I'm not him, but my impression from talking with him is that he may decide to put some new plantings in after we do the work, or in some places it may be beneficial for the existing trees to have more space to extend their canopies.
Right. And what I'm suggesting is that as we write this order of conditions, there be a condition that any disturbed vegetation would have to be replaced in consultation with staff, because that any disturbed vegetation within conservation jurisdiction would have to be subject to a planting plan reviewed and approved by staff, along with, of course, the area that George had just talked about. So that's what I would think we should put in the order. One other quick question. Somebody who lived on Stanley Place and used Calamus for many years, you're right about the backup, but if you put a gate at the very beginning of that driveway along Gosnell, aren't you creating the same problem of a backup on busy days? Now, that's not a conservation question, so just more a thought as a citizen.
The gate would be open during when the beach is open.
Where's the check-in point?
Oh, the check-in point will be at, if you can see my cursor.
Yep.
This is about where they currently have it. So somewhere in this area.
Okay.
So it will be at the end of the driveway entering the beach parking lot, not way up at the road.
Okay. Great, that makes sense. Again, not a conservation question, but just one as a citizen. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
We didn't show that on the plan simply because they use portable huts that are not a fixed structure, so they can relocate it. They being the recreation folks can relocate it as they wish, but it's in their best interest not to put it up at the street. They prefer it in the parking lot.
Right, that does make sense. Thank you.
Any other question from the commissioner? So, Paul, I got a couple of things for you. Number one, I know in the description you mentioned about the rinse stations and some of the things that you mentioned, but I'm seeing now on the drawing, so those are questions that are gone. Rinse stations, do you show it on the plan already?
Yes. Yes. I should have noted that it's right over here near the end of the south end of the shared use path.
Okay.
There were two additional features that some residents who are avid windsurfers brought to us as a request. That is a small area of artificial turf where they can prepare their windsurfing rigs, and a rinse station, which would also benefit anyone who is using the beach at this area to rinse off their feet and whatnot afterwards.
Okay. And then secondly, I think when you're proposing the water main extension, is that water main on within the pavement area?
It's within the pavement area on Ocean Street, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that means that you would have to disrupt the traffic a little bit when you put the water main in, right?
Yes. Would you like me to flip to the utility plan?
Sure.
Okay, I'll try to do that as quickly as I can here. Let's see. Yes, that's it. So let me zoom in a bit. Oops. Why am I having trouble seeing it?
The blue line with the W.
Yeah. Okay. So here, yeah. Here's the. New
Almost
8-inch ductile iron water main extension. Yes, yes. Oh, so I guess it is.
on
It
the
is
side.
just along the shoulder.
Correct.
I think. I thought there was a place up here where it was partly in the road, but no. I guess it's supposed to
So
be
it's off the
mainly in the shoulder.
Yeah.
A little bit in the road, but mainly in the shoulder.
Okay. Okay. The other question I have is we're still waiting for the DEP number, so we cannot really close this hearing depending on how it goes. So just want to mention it. So one last chance. Any other comment from the commissioner? None? Darcy, do you have any comment? First, before I go to the public.
I have nothing to add. I think it's a great project.
Okay, thank you. Channel 18, any public comment on this?
There are a number of neighbors in the audience. If anyone has a comment or question, please raise your virtual hand and identify yourself.
I don't know how you raise your hand.
Ed,
Can I ask a question,
we hear
please?
you.
Can I
Yep,
ask
go
a
ahead.
question, please? My name is Ed Ganem. I'm a resident. I know, Paul, at the meeting, we had discussed lighting Cobra versus traditional lanterns. Would you be able to elaborate where or how many more are going in? I know people were concerned about the natural environment, maintaining that. But you know what? After looking at it about a week ago, I was up there and it was nighttime. And I know that people in the evening will actually walk with a flashlight. And I'm starting to think our personal safety is more concerning than anything right now. So I hope we really do add more lighting. Thank you.
Ed, can you tell us your address? Kim, do you need the address?
I am at 500 Ocean Street at the Otsman.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Paul, do you want to address that question?
Is that really a conservation question, Tom?
Well, it's not really a conservation question, but it's the lighting. I mean, someone asked the question. We need to answer the question, though, right? We cannot just blow it off. But Paul, how many lights do you have in here?
Yes. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The lighting that is out there now is overhead lighting on existing utility poles, telephone poles, and typically it's every other pole, and we have proposed and do propose to infill additional similar Cobra head lighting on the utility poles that don't currently have lights on them.
So you're adding more lights along the existing pole?
Yes. So we're roughly doubling the number of lights because right now it's generally every other pole, and we're proposing to put them on all the mainline poles. You know, not something off in someone's yard or anything, but the main along the street road poles.
Thank you, Paul. Sandy?
Yeah, my question was lighting as well. And yeah, I guess just being respectful of people, the residences, to not make it too bright along the road, but some additional lighting would be great.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Can we get her address, Sandy's address?
Oh, Sandy.
Yep.
What's your address?
467 Ocean Street.
Thank you.
Great.
Any other questions? Channel 18, any public comment?
Seeing none.
None? Paul, I need a continuance because we're still waiting for the DEP number. And I'm thinking about 25th. We can approve this project, but subject to the receipt of the DEP number. So the continuance date will be 25th. Would that be fine with you?
Yes, thank you.
Let me try this if I miss anything. Oh, I reviewed the stormwater report, is fine. The only thing that I want to add as a condition is doing a perk test to verify the infiltration rate during the constructions. And so that you have a chance to compare the proposed leaching rate versus what the actual leaching rate is. So let me try this. Could I have a motion to approve this project subject to the perk test, infiltration test during the construction to confirm the infiltration rate? And second, any disturbed vegetation in the buffer zone area to be revegetated in consultation with the staff, and a continuance to June 25th, waiting for the issuance of the DEP number.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone second? Roll call.
Cavadili,
Aye.
Gilmore, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Sampo,
Aye.
Tangny.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you. Good luck, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
We have two continuances. So the first one is Raymond Martin, installation of a proposed access stairway, pier, ramp, and float, remove 4 trees and vista pruning at 40 Bay Road, Contoured as shown on the Assessors Map 007 parcel 040. And this is a continuance from May 28th. The quorum is everyone except myself and Bill, but Bill is not here. So the quorum is everybody. So you only have 4. So you need 3 votes to approve this. Michael.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. For the record, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering, and I represent the applicant. This is a continued public hearing. We made a presentation 2 weeks ago, received some feedback from the commission, made some plan revisions. We were also awaiting comments from Division of Marine Fisheries, which we received. We revised the plans and I believe addressed any outstanding issues or concerns. And with your permission, I'd like to share my screen and review the plan revisions.
Yes, please. The plan was revised and dated June 7th.
Correct. At the original public hearing, we had presented the proposed access stairway and pier to be closer to the property line to the bottom of the page. Your regulations prefer to center docks on the frontage if possible. We had obtained some permission from the abutter. She was okay to have it closer to her property line, but given the comments from the commission, we made a decision to shift the proposed pier to the center. You can now see from setbacks from both projections of property lines that this is virtually centered, and it threads a needle between 2 significant trees. So we took your recommendation and made that revision. The Division of Marine Fisheries also had a comment about the separation of the flotation under the dock to the bottom. Remembering that there was a shellfish survey and report submitted, and there's no shellfish in this area. Your regulations require a minimum separation of 1 foot, and we were utilizing float stops. The DMF has a recommendation and a policy to provide 18 inches or 1.5 feet. So we revised the plan to demonstrate that at low tide, there'll be a separation of 1.5 feet from the substrate utilizing float stops. And that's generally the revisions to the plan. I think we addressed the issues and concerns raised at the initial hearing, and I think we addressed the Division of Marine Fisheries comments, and I'm happy to take questions.
This proposed pier is for non-motorized vessels. So
yes, it's for passive recreation, kayaks, and it's basically also to get access over the coastal bank. It's very difficult to traverse the coastal bank.
Correct. George?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Yeah, Mike, thanks for the revisions. I think as far as the pier goes, that's great. I'd like to just suggest that any cutting that's done be done in consultation with the commission, with staff. And can you comment also, on the vista pruning areas for me?
Yes, I'll share my screen again.
Yes, please.
In the initial application, another reason that we wanted the pier closer to the property line, this was it was going to allow us to put the access walkway in the same place where we wanted to do some vista pruning, because this is the preferred view window through at the bottom. But when we got the comments back from the commissioners at the original hearing and shifted the walkway, we would like to reserve the right to still do vista pruning in that area, and then selected vista pruning where the dock is going to be. It's my understanding that there's an opportunity to provide 2 windows, so we were asking permission for the 2 windows.
Okay. Yeah, we do give permission for 2 windows. This is a fairly narrow lot. Darcy, any comments on this? Do you have any problems with the 2 vista pruning areas?
Well, I think with the width of the property, I don't think those 2 windows are that extreme of a request. So I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. John?
Thank you, Tom. More than the center of the lot, this commissioner's concern was the required removal of a bunch of trees in the initial location. Mike,
Yes.
do you need to remove any trees in this current location for the dock?
Based on the survey of the significant trees on that bank, and they're located on the plan, we don't anticipate any significant tree removal where we've shifted the dock. We tried to place it in places adjacent to existing trees.
That's great. Thank you. Good move. With regard to the vista, I have no problem with the vista that the homeowner was looking for from his primary area. I do kind of have trouble, Darcy, with that second vista given the width of this lot. I mean, I'm okay with clearing any necessary vegetation that might impede over the dock, but why do we need another fairly wide vista on either side of the dock? That seems kind of unusual to me. As opposed to, a permission to say, yeah, obviously you can prune back vegetation that might impede the dock access. I don't know why you need that second vista there on a steep bank. I just have some trouble with it. And I guess my final question, I assume the vista that is being asked for is within current guidelines. There are no variances from the existing vista pruning guidelines. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes, we would do it in accordance with your guidelines.
Okay.
We only asked for the second vista window because we knew we needed to do some pruning in there to get the access down there, but and we were led to believe there was an opportunity for 2, so we thought we'd ask for the 2.
Well, again, I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with any pruning necessary in even maintaining it over time for access to the dock. I have absolutely no problem with that. But it looks like you've got, 3 or 4 feet on either side of the dock. You're asking to prune that back. I get a little bit of an issue with that, I must say.
That's okay. We respect the commission's decision in any event.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I saw Pete's hand and dropped off. George, your hand is up.
Yeah, I was just going to say also I've walked this property a couple times, and where the dock is located, John, is really a good spot. There's not going to be a lot of cutting taking place there, and I think in consultation with staff, I don't have a problem with that second corridor.
Okay. I must say I kind of disagree a little bit, George. This is, for me at least, I think this is kind of unusual to see that when he's getting a nice vista from the primary area that he wanted to. Again, I have no trouble with, minimum clearing on either side of the dock to maintain, accessibility and et cetera. So I might disagree with you just a little bit on that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I could make a suggestion, we don't want to push overly too hard for the second vista window. We would like the primary one. Perhaps after the project's done and the walkways installed, And if we have some justification to come back for some further vista pruning, we could do it at that time. The primary
Great suggestion, Mike, as far as this commissioner goes.
Yeah, you can do it, either do it that way, or you still have to meet with the staff when you do the vista pruning anyway, because this is a standard vista pruning.
Yeah.
So, you know, what you need to do is to need to go over the review with the staff, and then you can do it on the field. So make sure that you meet with the staff. Pete?
Yeah, I was waffling back and forth on the standard vista pruning, provided on this second thing that, again, done with a minimal amount of pruning, should not hurt the vegetation. It's not going to have this big open clear window, Abo. And I think in consultation with staff to minimally allow some potential is a key word here, pruning in this second area. I probably, with staff approval, I could probably go with that, maintaining the health of the canopy that's there.
Where I was going, if I can, Tom, but where I was going, Pete, is that, we have allowed, and as a dock owner, I understand this vegetation grows pretty good and it overcomes the dock. So yeah, you do have to cut back on either side of the dock to maintain accessibility, reasonable accessibility. And I'm absolutely okay with that. But to establish a vista corridor that's, and again, I don't know the footage on either side on this drawing, but that to me is still troublesome, because I don't really think we've done that before. So again, I think what Mike suggested, after the dock is in, if he wants to meet with staff and get an okay to do some cutting on either side of that, minimally necessary for the, for access to the dock, I'm okay with that. And he can put that in the order. So that's just where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That's acceptable to us.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the commissioner? Seeing none. Channel 18, any public comment on this?
Seeing none.
None. Could I have a motion to approve this project with the revised plans dated June 7th and allowing the standard vista pruning for the primary, and then the secondary, trying to minimize the vista pruning, and in consultations with the staff after the pier is installed?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Daily.
Okay, aye.
Gilmore, aye. Tangney.
Aye.
Sampu.
Aye.
And that is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Good
much,
luck.
commissioners. Have a good evening.
Chairman, commissioners, thank you very much for your due diligence.
Okay, thank you. The second continuance is Town of Mashpee, proposed maintenance dredging at the existing approach, inner and 1916 channels within Propenasset Bay that extends into Barnstable. This is a continuance from May 14, May 28th, and June 4th. The quorum is everyone except George.
Hey, Tom. Yep, I'm here. My name is Paul Mancuso. I'm a wetland scientist with the BSC group here presenting the proposed maintenance dredging of the approach, inner and 1916 channels within Pompanesett Bay on behalf of the town of Mashpee. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I was here, I guess about a month ago, and I presented the project, but we were waiting to hear back from Natural Heritage and DMF. We have heard back from DMF. Natural Heritage has a few more days. I believe the 14th is the end of their 30-day review period, but they have not gotten back to us. But this is a maintenance dredging project that has been permitted in the past. The permit expired, I believe, about a year ago. There is... So the project site is here in Pompanesett Bay. There are these three channels that exist within Barnstable, but also exist within Mashpee. Here's the town line. So I'm going to go to the plan set now. So we're going to zoom in here to Pompanesett Bay. And you can see these are the three channels here, which exist in Mashpee and in Barnstable. And so these channels have all been permitted for maintenance dredging in the past, but the permit for the sections in Barnstable expired before we could extend them. So we're here re-permitting them. The maintenance dredging is allowed in perpetuity in Mashpee based on the certificate of compliance they initially issued. So for these 3 channels, this is the approach channel to Pompanesett Bay. And as far as the portion in Barnstable, there is 18,369 square feet. The prior permit included 978 cubic yards of sediment to be dredged annually from the Barnstable section of this channel. However, based on current needs, no dredging is proposed based on the current profile. If a big storm were to come in and fill in this channel, they would like to have the permit to dredge that area if necessary, but currently there is no dredging needed. Actually, no dredging is needed within any of these 3 channels, but this is just in case a storm were to fill the channels in. So this is the inner channel, which is mostly in Mashpee, but this portion here in Barnstable is approximately 11,187 square feet. And again, currently no sediment is needed to be dredged here, but the prior permit had 676 cubic yards to be dredged from this channel annually or on an as-needed basis. And then here is the 1916 channel, which was established back in 1916. This channel is mostly in Barnstable, and there is an approximate area of 55,042 square feet. And currently no dredging is needed at this time, but based on the prior permit, we were looking to dredge 6,259 cubic yards of sediment from this channel annually when needed. So essentially that's the project. These channels have all been permitted before. All dredged material will be pumped to the town of Mashpee. They use it for nourishment on their beaches. No dredged material will be pumped to Barnstable, so there's no sediment disposal in Barnstable. So essentially it's just the dredging of the sediment, which I believe is over 90% sand. It's pretty clean material, so they pump it straight onto their beaches. And so I guess the last page of the plan set are just some cross sections of the 3 channels themselves. And I guess at this point, if the commission has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Paul, so we're still waiting for the NHSP letter, right?
We are. I mean, I'm almost positive they will give time of year restrictions for the piping plovers. We sent them the plan set for the entire project, including the Mashpee section with all the beach nourishment areas. So I believe they're going to give time of year restrictions for the beach nourishment locations, but that won't apply to Barnstable. And then if they have any time of year restrictions for dredging, we will absolutely follow those. I mean, the commission can include all of those into the conditions. And we did hear back from DMF. They have suggested time of year restrictions from May 1st to July 31st based on winter flounder and horseshoe crabs. So we're happy to follow any time of year restrictions that Natural Heritage recommends, but I believe this was our last continuance. We were hoping to get approved with any conditions that Natural Heritage suggests.
I don't think we can close this until we get the NHSP letter. So I think we need to continue this to maybe, I'm thinking like June 25th. They should have the comment letter back out.
Yeah, if that's fine with you, that's fine with me. I got a letter from Emily Holt at Natural Heritage just the other day saying I think they're expecting their comments by the 14th at the latest. So we only have by the end of the week. But yeah, that would definitely be before the next hearing, if that works for you.
Okay, there's a couple of things that I just want to mention. The waterway and harbor master has no issues on this project. And as you're showing on the screen, there is a comment on the DMF of as far as the time of the year restrictions.
Yeah.
You know, I think the combined restriction is from January 15th to June 30th. DMF recommended top of the slope by no closer 25 feet from mean low water line. Dredging the toe of the slope near the mean low water line may result in the sloping of the intertidal habitat. So the other kind of conditions are kind of general. Any other question from the commissioner? None? Channel 18, any public comment on this one?
Seeing none.
Could I have a motion to continuous this to June 25th, waiting for the issuance of the DEP, the NHSP letter?
Excuse me, Tom, but you're saying the motion would be to approve this, but conditioned upon, but continue just for the NHSP, but we're otherwise approving the project. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Tangney,
Aye.
Sampu.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's see what I have here. We have one easy certificate of compliance. Francis O'Brien, SE3-5669. Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili,
Aye.
Gilmore, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Tangney,
Aye.
Sampu.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Our next hearing is June 25th, and that will be the last hearing for George. Sorry to be your last meeting. So could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Abadili,
Aye.
Gilmore, aye. Lee,
Aye.
Tangney,
Aye.
Sampu.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:46.